Hi students, today we will be discussing the concept of balancing the chemical reaction. The balancing of chemical reaction means the number of atoms in the reactant side should be equal to the number of atoms in the product side, right? So this side is the reactant side and this is the product side, right? So how many different number of atoms I have? See, I have carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, right? So how many number of carbons are in the reactant side? I have 4. How many number of carbons I have in the product side? That is 4. The same way, how many number of hydrogens I have in the reactant side is 8. In the product side, it is 2. Number of oxygen in the reactant side is 2 and number of oxygen in the product side is 3, right? So that is 2 plus 3, right? So there are 3 oxygens and in the reactant side we have 2 oxygens, right? So now first we'll, oh sorry, the number of carbons in the product side is 1, right? Now we'll try to balance this. So first we'll try to balance the carbon, right? So now for balancing the carbon I have to multiply here with the 4, right? So now the number of carbons on the product side is also 4, right? So now carbon is balanced. So now I have multiplied the CO2 with the 4, right? So number of oxygens will be changed in the product side. So now I have 4 into 2, 8 plus 1, right? So I have total 9 oxygens in the product side, right? Now I'll try to balance the hydrogen. If I try to balance the hydrogen, what I have to multiply this H2 with the 4, right? So now I have 8 number of hydrogen in the product side. Now the number of oxygens will again change, so that will be 4 of from H2O and 8 from the CO2. Okay, so now the number of oxygen in the product side will be 4 plus 8, that will be equal to 12, right? Now I have to balance the oxygen. So what I have to do in the product side, I multiply this O2 with the 6, so number of oxygen will be 12, right? So now every compound, carbon, hydrogen and oxygens are balanced in the reactant side as well as the product side. So this is the balance reaction. Now let's look at the other example. Now see, here how this is the reactant side, this is the product side, right? How many compounds I have? Nitrogen, hydrogen, right? Only 2 compounds. How many nitrogen I have on the reactant side? 2. How many on the product side? 1. How many hydrogen on the reactant side? That is 2. On the product side, it's 3, right? Now first I'll try to balance the nitrogen, so I'll multiply with the 2 here, right? So now I have 2 nitrogens, so nitrogen is balanced. Now I'll try to multiply the hydrogen, right? So number of hydrogen in the product side is 6, right? So now to balance the hydrogen, I multiply H2 with the 3, right? So how many hydrogens I have here? 6. So now this is the balance reaction, correct? Now let's look at one more example. Now here on the reactant side, how on the product side, how many compounds I have? I have Mg, I have Br, I have K, I have oxygen and I have hydrogen, right? See, students, the general rule for balancing the reaction is first try to balance the bigger elements. Like here we'll try to first balance the Mg, Br and the potassium, right? And in the end you can try to balance the oxygens and the hydrogen, right? So now the number of magnesium in the reactant side is 1 and the product side is also 1, right? Number of bromine in the reactant side is 2, 1 in the product side. Potassium is 1 and also 1 in the product side. Number of oxygen in the reactant side is 1. Number of oxygen, here see, we have OH twice, right? So this means I have 2 oxygens and I have 2 hydrogens, right? So the oxygens will be 2 and hydrogen are 2 here and hydrogen is 1 here, right? So this magnesium is balanced, right? Now for the balancing of bromine, I multiply with the 2 here, right? So now I have 2 bromine, so bromine is also balanced. Now I have 2 potassium on the product side. So now for balancing the potassium, I'll multiply here with the 2, right? So now I got 2 potassium here as well. But now the number of oxygen and hydrogen changed, right? So number of oxygen is 2 and number of hydrogen is also 2. So now everything is balanced in this reaction, right? So this will be a balanced reaction. Okay, now in this next example, we have Mg, we have phosphorus, we have oxygen and we have hydrogen, right? Now we see how many magnesium we have on the reactant side is 1. In the product side I have 3, right? the number of phosphorus in the reactant side is 2, in the product side is 2, right? In the reactant side is 1, product side is 2. The number of oxygen, so this will be 2 plus 4, right? 2 from here and 4 here, so number of oxygen is 6. Number of hydrogen, 2 from this OH and 3 here, so that will be 5. Now the same way, number of oxygen here, this 4 into 2, 8 plus 1, 9, right? And number of hydrogens are only 2, correct? Now first we'll balance the Mg. So we'll multiply here with the 3. So now I have 3 magnesium. So magnesium is balanced. Now I have multiplied this whole with the 3. So number of oxygen and hydrogen will also change, right? So now for the oxygen, if we say this 3 and this is OH twice. So earlier I had 2 oxygen. Now this will be multiplied with the 3. So I have 6 oxygen from here and 4 from here, right? So the total number will be 10. And for the hydrogen, I have 6 from MgOH twice and 3 from here, so I have 9 hydrogens, correct? Now in the product side, I have the same situation. Now I'll try to balance the phosphorus, so I'll multiply here with the 2. So again my number of oxygen and hydrogen will change, right? So from here we had 6 oxygen and 6 hydrogens. So now I have 6 hydrogen from MgOH twice and 6 here. So the total number of hydrogens are 12 and the total number of oxygens will be 4 into 2, 8 plus 6. So that would be equal to 14, right? So now if I try to balance the oxygen and hydrogen, so if I multiply with the 6 with the H2, so now I'll be having 12 hydrogen, right? So now this hydrogen is balanced, this potassium is balanced. Now for balancing this oxygen, I'll see I have 6 from H2O and 8 from this 4 into 2, 8 plus 6. So that is equal to 14, right? So now everything is balanced. So this is how you can balance the different kind of chemical reaction, right? Thank you. I hope you were able to understand this balancing of chemical reaction. If you have any doubt related to balancing of chemical reaction, you can write in the comment box. I will try to answer your problem. Thank you.